Hello, everybody. We are here, and I didn't do half bad a job on these cameras. God love it. Works out sometimes. Thank you for showing up tonight, everybody. I do appreciate you coming through. Tracy and I are going to be diving into a Whispers of the Vampire's Blade experience. Sort of like a little bit of a one-shot here. It's a solo session, very similar to what we did with Ivan, aka Frost Prime, when we were running him through his backstory. I'm very excited for tonight. I hope that you guys are as well. I have no idea how long tonight's session is going to last, but I'm here to entertain. For the sake of the experience, Tracy, you have been gifted by the chat one luck reroll.
Yay!
It's a good start. It's a good start, especially since I've really only been streaming for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. That's not bad. So, without further ado, I want to talk about how our last session ended. You weren't there for it.
No.
You didn't get to see how everything sort of went down, and that's okay. It's not expected to be as such. The sun was bleeding low over the Breelish horizon, casting long amber shadows across the gentle hills. The warmth of the day was slipping beneath the hush of the coming night, and the earth exhaled that quiet stillness that it does only at dusk. Your team began to make camp. The steeds tethered, gear unfastened, tired breath shared between friends who have traveled, well, too far and have seen too much. But Sera does not settle. She dismounts, her boots finding the soil steady with rhythm, and then she stops. No sound, no word. She stands frozen, halfway between motion and memory, as though some unseen weight has taken root in her bones. Her eyes lift, not to her allies, not to the road ahead, but beyond, far beyond, as if something in the fading light has opened a window into another time, another truth. See, there's a strange moment, a stillness, if you will, when time stops. Not in the world, but beneath it. Your vision blurs, not outward, but inward. And then Sera turns. Not to her allies, but toward you, Tracy. Not your character sheet. Not your dice. You. As if she's looking you in the eyes. And in their voice, but not quite, sounding like yours, just more tired, more knowing, they ask, "Why are you doing this to me?" And then you realize they aren't questioning their fate. They're accusing you. Because for the first time, Sera knows that she is being played. Then it begins. You feel it in the air, a tightness like the held breath before thunder. The wind stills, even the fire seems to quiet, and then you feel it deeper. Behind the ribs, a pull in your chest. A note struck not on string or on horn, but on the soul itself. A divine chord, discordant, calling. Sera doesn't speak at first. Her lips move, but the words are no longer for you. Her eyes shimmer with gold, not bright, but deep, as though reflecting a distant dawn. And behind it, something darker stirs, a flicker of fire, reddish-orange. Like glimpsed through a veil of smoke and sorrow. She sways slightly, steadies herself, then her voice emerges at last. "There's a chain in me." You hear the hollowness of Anju asking, "What's that about?" Sera says again, No, two chains. Her voice cracks under the weight of it. "There's one forged in light and another in grief." And the winds shift. Sudden dry gust that stirs the leaves and sets the horses on edge. Her mount, unbidden, turns to face the west to Sharn. Toward the past. Sera met their eyes, one by one, not with fear, but with the gravity of someone being unmade and remade all at once. Dol gave me purpose when I was lost. A pause, and a harder truth passes between her lips. But the fury, she delivered strength and tenacity to continue. And with an exhale, not of weakness, but of resolve, the kind born of pain survived and still unfinished. And I don't know which one is right, but I know I can't ignore either. She steps into the saddle. The light catches her armor in gleam and shadow, and for just a breath, she looks like a knight, born from a dream long abandoned. A figure caught between two gods and bound by neither. Her words hang in the air like a vow. I'll return. And then she rides. Not fast, but certain, into the dying light. The road behind her curls into mist and distance. And the remaining few of Scout's honor are left shook. It was so sudden, and they couldn't make heads or tails of what was happening. And you come too, as Sera. Sera, you are piloting your horse, Pearl. You're moving with a renewed vigor. She seems to be moving faster than before, no longer guided by the lot. Poor riders, the lot of them, but you were classically trained. And you fly through the night. And when your horse seems to lose endurance, a grace falls from you, and she regains her strength again, and you push on. She's driven as fast as the wind. Tracy, do you think in this moment that there would be questions? Do you have any questions for me, given what you've just heard?
Does Sera still know that there's somebody out there? Me. Like, is it like she's like still like, was it just like a moment where she thought of something, or is it like, okay, I know you're there kind of thing?
It's just a moment.
Okay.
It was just a moment. And in Sera's eyes, she's not sure if she's looking at the Fury or at Dol.
Okay.
You arrive in Sharn, and I would like to know, where does Sera go? You're in the lower Dura, so if you wish to go above and ascend back to beyond like Tavik's Landing, maybe if you want to see Miriam again, you'll have to rise above as well. Or is there something that's more important for her, a location that might make more sense?
Yeah, I think normally she would maybe go to Miriam's for a bit and stop by, and because that's become their spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now, you're right. She has other things on her mind. So she would likely go to the temple.
The same temple that you visited previously, where you had absconded with the opioids.
Yeah, the one that, Angie wanted to steal from.
Yeah.
And yes.
Got it. Can do. We can make that happen. A serene temple of the sovereign host, nestled in the corner of Upper Sharn. The golden light of late afternoon filters through the tall stained glass windows, casting vibrant patterns across the stone floor. The air smells faintly of incense. Sera stands alone before an altar in front of her, her hands fidgeting as she realizes that it's been far too long since she has seen or even stepped foot in a prayer hall. A piece of polished marble catches her attention. Nestled among the candles, a mirror embedded in the marble's center point. Sera speaks. I didn't take my oath at an altar. I took it in the quiet places, between choices. Between wrongs I couldn't see. I wasn't born a noble. I wasn't chosen by stars of prophecy. I chose. And that choice became something sacred. Not because it was perfect, but because it was watched. Not by the gods, not by kings, but I think by someone else. Someone I've never met, yet I've always known. Sera turned slightly, her eyes glancing into the mirror, and where we expect to see her reflection. Instead, we see a woman with dark auburn hair and eyes wrapped in darkness, cascading pin lights like stars decorating the rear wall of her sanctum, a luminescent crown with a crucifix astride bookshelves decorated with tomes and memories, waiting, watching, confused, and concerned. Sera breathes again. The one who steadied my hand when it trembled, the one who whispered courage when I broke, the one who shaped this vow in my chest like a scar. Her reflection shifts a heartbeat too late as she moves, and then it matches her again. If they're still watching, I hope that they know that oath wasn't made for glory. It was made for truth. And I will carry it even when they cannot. Sera finalizes the monologue by preparing to leave. As she stands, she spins on her heels, and you find yourself no longer standing in the prayer hall of the Sept. Instead, outside, in the night, with the sounds of wildlife and winds sweeping, a campfire flickering no more than 20 steps away. Sera, you see a single figure sat down not far from the flame. One that you had met before. A cavalier knight wearing silver scale armor with the holy symbol of Dol-Ra upon his blue and gold tabard. His helmet sat next to him. You spoke with him once previously, and he offered you advice? A warning? At the very least, it was guidance. And here he sits again. With his scale gauntlet, you hear him tap next to him in a similar invite. He says, "Hello, Sera. It's been a while."
It has been.
And how have you fared?
She moves a bit closer. Normally in this kind of question, somebody might just say good or well and leave it at that. But admittedly, I have not fared the best. I've been better, a lot better.
You found your way back to us.
At the end of the day, I do feel that I always will, despite everything. This is where my heart is.
Do you still believe in what you once fought for? Or are you only here because the other voice is silent now?
She pauses. Maybe now she finally kind of walks and takes a sit down by him at this campfire. She looks down at her hand, or lack thereof, and continues. I do still believe there's always something that, despite everything that happens, a conviction deep within that I don't think can ever truly leave. And so that's why I came back and That's why I believe it's not just because something else has vanished.
So then you want your power back.
I just want to find myself again, is really what it is. I feel very lost.
We all reach these crossroads. It's easy to become lost, especially in the darkness. Someone has to light a lantern, be a guiding light and torch in a dark place. If that's true, I'd like for you to answer some things for me.
She nods.
You've professed an oath to love. What is love without forgiveness?
Forgiveness certainly is a part of love. Some would say an unconditional part of it, because when you can forgive, that's how you know that you have love. It's so easy to not. It's so easy to be bitter, resentful, but it's hard to forgive. And that is why it is love. And truly unconditional.
He sits silently. You hear no judgment in his tone, no conjecture, no wavering of his figure, no furrowing of the brow. And a pause again, before his voice breaks the calm. What is a vow if it bends to bloodlust?
Vows are spoken in many different forms, whether it be marriage or an oath for becoming a paladin, a cleric, anything. But we see many times those vows can be broken, marriages dissolved, dissolved, whatever word it is. and when that bloodlust sinks in, it can be hard to shake. But sometimes you have to think back to when you first made those vows and how you truly felt in that moment. It can be hard because in these moments you think about all of the passion and everything else that comes with it. But to stop and think about who you were and what you felt when you made those vows, that is when you can truly find yourself again.
Very well spoken. And lastly, what is a paladin without a cause?
Every paladin has a cause, you're right. Even those who break their oath, whatever has been broken, a new purpose is given. So paladins, they will always have a cause, even if that cause changes.
We all drive from different locations, from different places and people. It's funny because the gods do not need defenders, but people do. It's part of what Dolorah stands for. You may still fall into her good graces, but not without a trial. Sullum stands. He pulls from what you could only believe is like a back pouch or maybe a small bag on his back, what looks to be a mirror made of golden light. It bears no frame, no edges, no reflection. It only bears potential. At first, it shows you two paths, not what is, but what could be. Under Dolorah, Sera sees herself armored in radiant silk, unarmed yet unafraid. She reaches out with both hands, not to strike, but to shield. Behind her, friends and strangers alike are gathered in safety, in love and hope. She is a guardian. She is the standard, the bastion, in a light and a dark place. And it flickers again. Under the fury, she sees herself bathed in a crimson fire. Her armor molten, her hair alive with heat and movement, in her hands not a sword, but the raw shape of love made violent. A brand of devotion sharpened into wrath. Her tears turn to steam as she strides through ruin, burning for those that she cannot protect. Tracy, can I get a perception check, please?
Those are both pretty cool, I gotta say.
Very good. Tracy, a third image flickers. Brief, silent, and uninvited. It is not a god, and it is not a future. It's a woman, seated at a simple desk, with auburn hair, dark eyes, as described before, though there is nothing divine about her. And yet, Sera's chest tightens. She doesn't recognize the face, but something in her does. A note struck on an unseen string. A warmth, quite like a memory that she never made. And just as quickly, the image fades, swallowed by the gold. Sullum does not react. He only says gently, "The gods are not your only witness, Sera."
It's me.
His voice is calm, hollowed from time, reverence, and patience. I would like to say that nothing here is a judgment. There is no pass or fail. I'm not your captor. I hold no blade behind my words. I carry only the torch because someone must in dark times. The mirror shows what could be. It does not demand. It does not decide, and neither do I. He lowers his gaze, not in shame, but in humility. These paths will not vanish, not tonight. Not even should you turn away. But know this, no step forward may be taken until you've heard the other voice. She waits, Sera. The one who burns, who sings in your blood. You must look into her flame. And he points down to the fire, where you see an ember glowing with a radiance that is far beyond the others. You must look into her flame as you've looked into this light. Only then will choice become real. Only then will the road rise to meet your feet. He takes a single step back from the mirror, Tracy, giving Sera the space to remain, to question, or to go. There is no pressure in the room, only presence. And if you have nothing else to say, should you return, I will still be here. The light does not chase, but it remains.
So in order for me to choose one path, I must face the other.
He nods.
If I feel if I feel drawn to one, will I be pulled by the other? Let's say I was to just go to one and make my choice. I have to go and face the other first.
You must hear from both agents.
I see.
Regardless of your choice, you'll never not hear the voice. We've never left you. You simply stopped walking to the light.
Is it? No.
Go on, speak your mind.
Is it foolish to have ideals, to want to just shield and help people? I've been walking this path. I've been facing trials and challenges, and my faith has been tested. But the more I see of this world, the more I think, what is it almost silly for me to think that I can help people? Because so far, all the people in my life, I can't say that I've helped. If you say that you've never left, then to me it feels like almost I don't deserve it.
It sounds as if you have cast judgment upon yourself.
Perhaps I have.
Very well aware of the crimes that you've committed, and some of the atrocities that have been laid before you by not only your hands but your allies. But judgment belongs to your heart, not me. I only reflect. You must reflect upon your deeds, your misdeeds, your actions, and your indecision. Those choices are not for me to make. And because you stand here, shows that Dolaraz still is with you.
She nods and actually, like, maybe even tears up a bit, because I think that's not something she thought about. The fact that she made this choice to come here. That is the first step. That is accurate. That she's not been given up on, and she hasn't given up yet. So she looks at this mirror and sees the two paths. And, well, I guess she'll choose one, knowing that her thought is, my thought is, I want to choose the one that I'm leaning less toward and face that one first, and then face the one that I want second. So she looks to the flaming, fiery fury and wants to face that challenge first.
Understood. Reach in and flinch the heart of the flame, and you will appear before the agent of the Fury.
She will reach in toward the Fury.
When your hand grasps the heart of the flame, the deepest and warmest part, so far as you can tell, the sounds of night around you dim. They fall away, and you hear nothing but flame. You are pulled into a room. As Sera steps forward, the warm light of Dolarav fades behind her. Like the last glimmer of day sinking beneath the horizon, the world fractures and then reshapes. You find yourself standing in a dimly lit chamber, lit only by drifting embers that float lazily in the air. The smell of smoke and wilted roses cling to everything. The air is warm, it's intimate, heavy, like a secret held too long. The floor beneath her feet, littered with wedding bands, scattered like fallen coins, each one humming faintly with sorrowful memories. And as she steps, they don't clink, Tracy, they whisper. They whisper regrets, promises broken, names spoken in devotion and lost to time. And at the center, a massive four-post bed carved from dark wood, streaked with veins of ember red. The canopy above hangs in scorched velvet, and silver chains stretch taut from the bedposts, binding the figure lying in the center. A stunning figure, ambiguous in gender, made of coal and smoke shaped like flesh, with flame hair flowing in slow motion, their body bound in chains made of silver and love letters smoldering. They are cracked, leaking soft flame at the seams, and when they speak it sounds like a lullaby sung in anguish. She says, "You came. You feel it too, don't you? The ache that Dolarav would silence. The hunger that they call impurity.
I have felt it before, yes.
You're hesitant. You're afraid. Fear keeps you safe. But with me, you'll never have to fear. Dolarav wants you bound by law, by light, by leashes of control. But I want you as you are. Flawed, fiery, and furious. You don't need to be redeemed." She leans forward, thrusting with her bosom. "You need to be released."
So, now, she looks at the creature in front of her and around this area as well, the bed, the broken rings on the ground all around them. I understand at least some of this. Like I said, I felt this before. And I know it comes from a place of pain and hurt, and thinking that because you've been hurt in the past, that you don't need saving or redemption. You can just be what you've become. But that just shows all the more that we all need help. And that's what I'm here to do, to help you.
How will you help me?
I want to understand you.
She pulls her right leg under her left and sweeping it under her bottom and rising, and she steps lightly, delicately on the front of her feet, the heels never touching the bed, and a natural sway like flames seductive in nature. You can't look away, not because you're compelled to, but because that's what fire commands. She leans as far as she can, and her arms pull back so deep behind her, thrusting again her breast and her shoulder and this taut chin that's outwardly struck, and you see it for the first time. Amidst the vast bed, the large chains, thrusting from the centermost point of her chest, the hilt of a blade that you're familiar with. It's a blade you broke over a forge not so many weeks ago.
Yes. The blade. Has it returned to you?
I am not the Fury, child. I'm Machine. I am like you. I was tempted. And I took her unto me. And now I stand in the same place that Solon does for Dolaran.
So you are a avatar or something of the Fury, or just a chosen? You embraced the Fury.
We worked well together. And I know a great many things about you. Place your hand upon the blade so that I can prove it.
I destroyed that blade for a reason. I don't want to be a part of it anymore.
The blade will not be with you, if you so wish it to not be. This is how she will speak with you. If you draw the blade, then you'll free me to decision. Breaking me from these posts will meet the Concord Agreement. And I will meet you at the crossroads with Solon, but not first, without you hearing what I know.
I would like to make sure that she's speaking the truth, that if I do grab this blade, I am not going to be fucked and like,
Sure.
Welcome to the pact. You
Sure.
signed. Okay.
Go for it.
Let's see. Since. Well, not my best, but I don't want to use my luck reroll.
You could.
I mean, it is important because I don't want to just, screw myself over. But I also don't want, I'm scared that I might need it for a later time.
All right, sure.
So I will just take what I can get.
Sera believes what she's saying is true. There's no morbid curiosity. It's not that. It's your natural alertness to these things and your ability to see through the bullshit, if you will. It seems like she has no reason to lie to you.
Okay. I will reach forward to her bosom and grab the blade.
When you flinch your fingers around the hilt of the sword, it's would be driven through their body because it was such a massive blade, but in this case it is just the hilt. When your hands flinch around the hilt itself, you can hear a series of memories flood back rapidly, hitting you over and over again. They left you. I stayed. Strike and I will sing their names in fire. I felt every cry you choked down to be strong for them, every tear that you hid behind a brave face. You love like fire, Sera. They wanted you to love like a statue, shining and still. You lost yourself trying to become their perfect sword. And still they turned you away. I never turned. I watched and I burned for you. Your passion, your grief, your failures, your fury, they are sacred to me. They ask for obedience, and I offer you truth, raw, flawed, and the power to wield it unchained. You feel yourself naturally pulling at the blade, and you can see it beginning to remove from between her bosom. Take this, and let it hurt. Let it remind you that you're still alive. Let every strike scream that love should never come with a leash.
Sera listens to these words and, you're right. I have passion. I do. I've seen what that raw passion can do. It is, in some ways, beautiful. And in other ways, dangerous. And this is what happens when you let it become dangerous. This perspective is all wrong. It's not about being chained up, locked up. It's about embracing that love. It's about seeing beauty despite flaws. It's everything right, and this just feels like everything wrong. I can't accept this.
You still must free me. Then we will meet at the crossroads.
Then she will continue to remove the blade and free her.
You draw the blade forth, and it is a fiery replica of the blade that you had drafted from the succubus and incubus. Mm-hmm. And she steps back, pulling her arms in, motioning to the bedposts and the silver chains on either side. Strike when ready.
Do I have to strike the bed?
You just say that you do, or you don't.
I will.
Okay. Okay. You know me. Actions have consequences.
Okay.
If you wished to leave her there, that's totally fine too. You could have done that. But when you cut her free, she says, you still have the choice to take me into you, and I will give you your voice again. One that screams, that weeps, that loves, and you will have your decision. There is no clear road from this point. There is no path that lay out before you. As her words seemed to fall away from you, you were left with nothing but the smell of smoke and wilted roses, and a cloud of fog pours out before your vision. The fire still burns, so you know that you're not far from either. Because the fire is still important to both paths. There is no clear road here, only a quiet space where the wind forgets to blow. The stone paths extend in 3 directions before you as the fog begins to clear. There's left, there is right, and the way that you've come from. But the terrain beyond each quickly dissolves into mist, like memory at the edge of waking. She stands at the center where the flagstones are cracked by the time the scorched of the old road. A single flowering vine pushes its way up past its broken stones, and it trembles untouched. From the left, Ashen approaches. From the right, Solon steps forth. They do not look at you, Sera. They look through you, as if they can see a silhouette of someone guiding you. Ashen arrives first, like the heat off scorched stone, barefoot, bound in chain, eyes bright with defiance. Yet she does not walk alone. From the haze behind her, Cohen steps forth. The changeling's shape flickers, but the feeling is unmistakable. That knowing grin, the quiet ache between the both of you. He doesn't speak, he just watches, like he's always waited for you to stop running. Ashen's voice, a whisper wrapped in flame. Love, like yours, was never meant to be safe, Sera. Let it burn. Let it remake you. Take me in, and never break alone again. Solon moves like a closing prayer, quiet, unbending. Beside him walks Hal, the elven assassin, unchanged, smooth, distant. Once your everything, until he wasn't. He looks at you without recognition, or perhaps with too much. Solon speaks without judgment. You must forgive him, and forget him. Not for him, but for you. Love is not a wound. Let it be a light. Walk with us again, but unburdened. Tracy, you must make a choice.
Okay. So, he said forgive and forget. Like, I'm interpreting that as if I follow that path, I may actually forget Hal forever, which is a lot. I don't want to forget Hal. And then the other side is like, give in, come with Cohen. And so it's like, if I don't choose that, I could, and I go like the good path with like Solon, I could potentially lose both. Like, I'm gonna forget Hal, and then I'm not choosing Cohen, and so I could potentially lose both.
This kind of makes you think about the standards of both Dolora and of the Fury.
Yeah.
The Fury at no point has stopped you from loving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dolora has encouraged your devotion.
Yeah. Which is like, stay away from House the Ronnie Boys. It's basically it's basically what Dolora is telling me to do. Man, that is tough, y'all. Oh, that is tough. Maybe the Fury is right. Maybe this is chains and binding, and maybe this is like unfair. Though I will say, I understand. I understand this choice in a way, and maybe, Sera could be misinterpreting this, but this is what, as she's standing here, this is like the big choice in like a Dragon Age game, and you have to like sit and talk through it before you make the choice.
So talk. Let's talk. Let's talk it out.
Yes. I think like I get it, and to me, I feel like it's like Dolora is like, you need to like let go of this, and you're right, focus on that devotion, because right now that is what you need. It doesn't mean like you can never love somebody and you can never love again. And I think to me, it's more like this is not for you right now, and you need to focus on the path forward. And that's not saying like you can never love again. Meanwhile, I feel like the Fury is just like, embrace what you want now, embrace these passions now. It's like instant gratification, and all of the devices and indulgences that come with that. And she's not
like telling you to like go punch infants, right? Like she's
Yes.
telling you like love hard, love like fire.
Yes. And honestly, I kind of just from like we're looking at the person behind the desk. I do really like that. And obviously that's why that came to Sera, in the first place. Oh, it's oh man, it's hard, but this path doesn't come without
Neither of them are without hangups.
True. Although I'm failing to see what, well, no, I'm not failing to see what, like, I'm like, what's the downside, Fury? Like, what are you're offering all these good things, like, but there's got to be something. I mean, the bad thing that comes with it is I like my path with my god is tainted.
Well, let's talk about like what it looks like above board, right? Above the role play.
Right.
Dolora has a lot of followers. She's one of like the big ones, right? In Eberron. She's part of the primary pantheon. The Fury is a fallen god. Doesn't have a lot of followers. Has to really kind of lay it on. Offer much more for what it's worth. And realistically, it comes with a lot less holds. She's not like, as I was saying before, the Fury's not necessarily like this completely evil being, right?
Deity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's zero hesitation when it comes to exacting vengeance, right? With Dolora, it's a little different. Like, it's a bit more hoity-toity, very Justicar, like the right path. You got to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. And I got to say, it's hard being a follower of Dolora with the...
You don't say.
It's hard. And that's what I think has made it easier for Sera to fall astray also, is because the company she keeps, I don't think has the same worldview as her. So you can still ask them questions as well. Like you're basically like, you're at the precipice of a culling scale, and you are throwing your wants versus your needs to both sides to see which one is going to match up to meet your best. Yes. I like I'm like, what would Sera? I'm thinking all these things. I'm like, would Sera even just ask this? Um, she looks to Solon on this one side, and this choice that you've placed in front of me, if I choose, will will I be will there be guidance along the path? I feel part of me needs I need to reach out through prayer and other means, of course. I just know the path. I need help. It's really what it is. I just want to know that if I go on this path, that sometimes you do walk alone, but I have trust in Dolora, and I want to know that I have support.
Dolora has never left you. If you're asking if she will personally guide you on your path, this is why we have our core tenets, the texts. I may attempt to be available in dire times, but I cannot guarantee, as we are not instructed to intervene.
I understand.
Your path is a test of devotion to your faith. I understand if it's difficult. It was difficult even for me. And if you choose a path away from Dolora, a door is never closed. The light never fades.
That is honestly comforting in many ways. That when you lose faith, faith doesn't lose you. Dolora, she'll never lose faith in me, but I also don't want to let her down. Sera looks to the other path, but she continues to speak to Solon and she looks toward Cohen, and if I choose this path, it seems that I'm being called away from these passions, as one would call it. Does this mean I need to leave them forever? Hal, Cohen, is that it?
Distractions are placed in our path. Again, it is for you to interpret. Dolora still operates in ways that are even beyond my line of thinking. And she is not so fickle. But I was asked to present this figure before you, and to tell you those things.
I see. I understand. I have seen such beauty through Dolora. I've seen beautiful, beautiful ceremonies of love. I have. And I've always wished that one day that would come for me as well. In my time, I never want to force it. I never want to push something that isn't sanctioned. But I don't know. I I still have faith that that will one day come for me as well.
Ashing chimes in. The Fury asks not of you to relent to love. She asks for you to welcome the love. Equal love. Consenting. She gives you the choice, the agency to protect however you so see fit. She wishes for you to not be in direct service to her, but to yourself. Your life is fleeting and short compared to that of a god's. I will not speak ill of my liege sister, but Dolaran does things a little differently.
Then tell me, what were all of those rings on the ground where we just were? What was all of that?
They were memories. Memories of love that had been protected by myself, by the many others, under her tutelage, under her guidance. Relationships are a passion written in flame and fury. And those were memories after they had fallen, an echo, a remembrance. She lives with those memories. She hears their cries, and it encourages her to continue, despite falling from beyond.
I see those fragments. I don't actually see them, but I understand in some way. I look at life, my path, my journey. I am only a half elf. I will not live for hundreds upon hundreds of years like those of full blood. My life is still a fraction of that. And I think about my life, and I want to look back at it and say, did I do something good? Did I do good for this world, for the people around me? And that can be interpreted in many ways. And I do believe that the Fury sees what she does as good. She is not inherently evil. There is no black and white here. There is many gray areas. I can see that. I can understand to a degree. But I feel that I am called to a different path. That I am called to walk a path of good, actual good. Why? I don't know. This is just how I feel, truly, deep down. I feel that I am called to be on this path for good.
Then walk the path of good. You can walk the path of good with fire in your heart. We simply believe that we walk in shadows. No. We simply protect those at any cost. Those the ones that we love. We saw the way that you handled yourself on the vessel when your comrade Anju was stricken down. The cost of your own life, you threw yourself into the fire to protect him. We saw you on Strickland's ship. When you cut that man down, it wasn't for pleasure, it was to protect something. And who forsook you when you made that decision? Who held the power above you, out of your reach? Because you chose to act violently. If you wish to walk without power entirely, I understand. I'm not here trying to convince you. I just don't want you to walk blindly because one light might shine brighter than another.
Damn, she's making some good arguments here. I'm not gonna lie. My last question then. Dolora has clearly said that even if I choose a different path, she will always be there. Could the same be said for the Fury?
Are you asking Solon or are you asking Asheen?
Asheen.
She hesitates for a moment and she says, I do not know. I do not know. I wish I could give you an earnest answer. The flames can be fickle. They can be consuming. Like passion, love, lust, and rage. We are filled with emotion. I'm not one to say that my liege is petty. But if you turn her down, she will be hurt. You are the one that woke her, after all. She would not extend this offer to another.
Man. Sera stands there at this precipice of choice and closes her eyes for a moment and just meditates in the moment.
Sure.
Thinking about these choices, thinking about that passion, and also thinking about the virtue.
Solon has remained stoic the entire time. There is no swaying him. There is no convincing him of another path and way. He is certain in his devotion. But upon your first meeting, he said that he served Dolora for hundreds of years.
It is hard.
They both nod in unison.
But as I feel, that feeling remains strong within me that I was chosen to serve Dolora many years ago. And I want to continue that path. I want to continue that journey.
Tracy, make a will save.
Huh! Boy. Oh boy. That is a 1. Plus 8 on my will. I think I'm gonna use that luck reroll.
Okay, go for it.
Please. That is much better.
It's really, really good. You feel no thresh of fire, no flinch of flame, but you can see with this almost supernatural, rapid nature, Asheen's arm glides up to touch your arm, and you are immediately struck back with memories. Memories from your childhood. When you were left with the Sept, when you were left at the Church of Dolora. You can see that the decision was made for you. You were plucked from your familial home because half-elves were not meant to be with the rest of the Valar. It was forced upon you. There were different gods. The Valinari prayed to different gods. But it was plunged upon you day after day after day, and the decision felt a lot less like a decision and looks a little more like brainwashing, like forced control. It was driven into you through repetition for about 50 years.
Oh, man.
When you come back to, Ashin just nods in acceptance and understanding. And Solon lowers his head in shame.
It's... Yeah. This is hard, fam, because truly, like, the path of the Fury, it's not like, to me, it's not like it's evil. It's like we've said, they are not an evil god. They're not like lawful evil or even chaotic evil. Like, it is like, they're just like a fallen god. It's like morally gray, you know? And
Yeah.
so it's like, that's where it's like, that's not the worst. It's like, I'm not making like this evil pact with like a devil kind of thing. It's like, I'm making a pact with something kind of morally gray. And I can still make good choices and be an agent of the Fury kind of thing.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yes. So it's like, this isn't like a bad choice, but I'm still like, so like, I want Sera to be like a good paladin. I want her to be what she was set out to be.
Sure.
And that is a follower, a paladin, a lawful good paladin of Dolorath. Oh.
But above board, you know that that's going to be very challenging.
It is.
Given your allies.
And yes, and that's the other thing, that it's like, it is very challenging giving my allies, because they like have minds of their own. And even if I'm like, that's wrong, they'll be like, we don't care. So it's like, does that mean like at some point Sera may have, well, but the other thing is Sera doesn't want to give up on them. Like, so it's not like she's just going to walk away.
It totally makes sense. You were indoctrinated into something beyond your control. You just spent 50 years every day meeting like penance and prayer and everything that you had to do. They raised you. It's hard to forget the teachings of your parents. It's hard, right? It's everything you basically know. So it totally makes sense. And you're moving to something that's a little more gray, a little less concrete. And they're offering, it sounds almost too sweet.
It does. It does. There's got to be some downsides. This, other than like losing my powers from my god, I'm like, what are the other downsides to this? There's got to be something.
Ask if there's something that you feel like, if you want to get down to like the brass tacks and nitty gritty, they're not going to like negotiate. They're not going to be like, all right, we'll get you on the weekends, right? And you, like, it's not like that. But if you have something that you want to know more about, or if you want to propose an idea and see how they respond, then they're not opposed to it. This is literally their job.
Yeah. And so Sera will look to what, Ashin, and ask them, this, what you're giving to me, these memories, everything, it all seems too good. There's always a dark side to everything, other than losing my gifts from my god, losing my power from my god. What is? I need to know, what is the dark side of this, other than What is the downside?
The dark side is that your actions may have you creating problems in the form of bodies. What you've already done, which is why you fell from the grace of Dolora. If you're worried that she's going to tempt you into something of malice and evil, then you'll find yourself destroying families and slaying the just and the kind. That's not the case. My patron was asleep. She rested as her faith, her following had waned, and she must rest. And when you found her blade, she woke to your touch. She bled with you. She shared your fire. She ached when that woman stole the memory of one you once loved. She lives from your passions. She may never ascend to being upon the greater pantheon with her sisters, her brothers. But I do not believe that is amidst her aspirations anymore. She simply wishes to be. The only downsides are from your own action. Or inaction.
If she was sad when I lost the memories of somebody that I loved, is there a way for me to get those back?
You'll have to take it back. You willingly gave it to another. She wept. Because that's love lost. Heartache is supposed to be felt, Sera. It's what drives us. It's what moves us to act. It's the swells, the ebb and tide, the flow of emotion. We must have the lows in order to cherish the highs. Nothing is ever cut and dry or black and white. We cannot always be, and she kind of lingers her vision over to Sullen, a light in a dark place. Sometimes we must be harsh and dangerous and violent to protect those that cannot protect themselves. She sees this in you. I see it in you.
That is what I've always wanted. At the core of who I am is to protect those who cannot protect themselves and protect those that I care about. The question is, laying in front of me, which way do I go about that? Do I take this path, or do I go the path I originally started on?
And fury is not so strong as to leave a lying, revolving door available to you. She is still weak. That's why she offers you the most power, and she's willing to bestow upon you a great gift. One that I was not afforded. And under different circumstances I might be jealous, but I would be quite happy to have a sister.
I came here pretty set on what I thought I was going to do. Now I am not so certain.
Sullen chimes in.
Help me out here, Sullen!
I wish that there was more that we could offer you. Dolora is not here to tempt. You either are with her, or you're with not.
As expected. Oh, man.
I told you, Trace.
Damn, this is hard. I want you guys to know, I came in here and I was like, I want to go on the path of the righteous. Like, that is what I want. Like, I was pretty set on that. And now I am not so sure. Oh, man. Oh, because I think about it and I think about like the future and I'm like, honestly, this like fiery Sera could be very cool. Like, I'm even picturing like a whole new look for her. Like, I'm like visually, like she could look totally different. I love like sweet Paladin Sera, but man, like fiery Fury Sera could be really cool too.
She's not preventing you from feeling a range of that. Like, that's the thing is like Dolora is like, hey, don't act out, dude. You're here representing like our business, okay? So don't go breaking the law.
Yeah.
And the Fury's like, bro, she pisses you off, punch her in the throat.
Yeah.
If he's exciting, go party with him. Like, live hard, because you're not going to live forever. So live hard, live well.
Yeah. Yeah.
They both have benefits, right? Yet there is going to be some negatives. I think the biggest negative above board is when you find yourself in odd company. Like there are some followers of other gods that don't particularly like the Dark Six, so some of them might just ignore you or be like, "Oh, you are not welcome here," right?
Yeah.
Dolora has one of the more devout followings, so there's practically a temple to the sovereign host in every city.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's never been, it's like really since the dawn of the Forgotten Forge, we've not really seen Sera in a situation where she likes to go hang out in the church. She likes being around her friends.
Yeah. She does. And if I'm like, sorry guys, I have to go pray. I'd be like, what the fuck? Oh man. And honestly, the other thing is too, like, if I did choose the fiery Fury, like he said, like Dolora is always there. Like, she's not gonna just leave you. But to me, that also seems like kind of, I'm like cop out. I'm like, I don't like, but that's the thing with gods. Like, they will like love you, and depending on the god, I guess they will love you, and that's that. It's that whole unconditional thing. And it's
the brass tacks is that Dolora is willing to let you in because her umbrella is that large. She has so many followers, she can afford to lose you, and it's not a big deal. Yeah. Whereas in the Fury, just awoke from a slumber because of your rage, your passion, your love, every emotion that you brought through in your last probably 50 sessions. She witnessed those, and it brought her out of slumber, and that's what's done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. God. This is a tough one, gang. I also wonder what if they would even care, but I wonder what the rest of the party would think if they saw this and what meanwhile, like Ben and Maggie in the chat. But like if their characters saw this and they were like, would they feel a certain way if it was like I was given the choice? Like, would people be like, would my friends be disappointed in me if I was like, I was given the choice to go back on that straight and narrow and I chose no? Or if they maybe not even give a shit. They're like, Sera, do what you want to do. Like, be you. I
think, I can't speak for them, right? But I probably yes and no in both ways. They would be like, do what it feels right for you, Sera. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, they would have to like double talk and do things behind scenes because you are a lawful judicator and you would exact the law, or at least you're supposed to. And if you fail to do so, you would generally fall out of the good graces of your god. Again.
Yeah. Okay, gang. I told Bob at the beginning, so like when I get like I'm usually pretty straightforward, clear cut. Like I'll like do my thing, and I'm not like a sit on things. I'm like I like to just make my choices and just like move forward. But this is like one of those game choices where it's like this is a huge choice.
I played games with you now for about 6, almost 7 years. I knew that you were very quick to make a decision and then stick to your guns.
Yes.
So I had to find a way to actually put you to the test on this one.
This is truly putting me to the test. Oh my god. Okay. I think I know what choice I want to make. And regardless of which way I do, I think this is a very, very hard choice. Because I think both options have a lot of pros. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm still here. You got more questions asked. They're also there as well. So, I mean.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess my other question is
I'm picturing Sera just like they're standing there waiting and Sarah's just pacing back and forth like, what am I gonna do? Oh my god.
My question to the Fury side is I clearly have made some choices and I've lost my ability. I've lost my power, and you're saying that the Fury will offer me some sort of all sorts of power and things. I feel like I need my full strength back in order to be who I need to be. Is the Fury willing to give me that?
When you say that, in unison, they both, without even missing a tone, say, you will have to pay in penance. You have a debt.
Oh, great. So either way, I have a debt. Either way, I have a debt that I have to pay in order to get my power.
And Solon then chimes in. And she is also going to put you through a personal trial. Oh. One that will challenge your faith again.
Oh. So this isn't even the hard part. I gotta make the choice and then I get put through the hard tests, y'all. Oh man. Okay.
Asheen clears her throat. Would you like to know the penance?
Yes.
Solon says, you will lay down the arm that strikes, so that you may raise the arm that lifts.
And what is that, the penance on both sides?
Asheen chimes in clearer words. You will have to sacrifice your arm.
So regardless of which side I choose, I will have to make that sacrifice and I will be able to gain my provisions from whichever side.
I believe so. I cannot say that I know, as she has forbade me from seeing the gift.
I see.
But do not weep for the arm, my love. You'll not be losing anything. You're burning away what keeps you from being whole.
If I lose my arm to bring up the one that protects and take on the shield.
That would be for Dola Ra.
What would it be for you?
The Fury demands total surrender of the arm as well, but not for peace, but for power through pain. The burning is not gentle. It cauterizes the fear, and you will be gifted with something greater. A strength beyond your limb.
Will I just be walking around without an arm?
They say nothing.
Oh, gosh. Oh my. Well, okay, do I make this choice? Do I do this? This is my character's future, everybody. This is this is huge. You know what? I think down to the core of it, what do I want to do for my character? It's like, oh, this is what my character do. Like, what do I want to do for my character and her journey?
Do you want to love without bounds? Or do you constantly want to try to do the right thing while consistently correcting everyone around you? You're very well aware of a lot of tyranny, because if you go under Dolora's light again, you're going to have to exact a lot of law bringing. And you definitely witness Ivan eat a whole dude.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I look to the two of them. As I said earlier, when I came back to this temple, I was pretty set on what I wanted to do. I felt convicted. I felt very strongly about the choice I wanted to make. But truly, what has been placed in front of me, it is not a decision that I make lightly. Clearly, as I've stood here in front of you, I could stand here in front of you probably for several more days, deliberating what is the right path for me and my journey and where I am right now. The people that I have surrounded with in my life, the people I care about, the journey I've had thus far, the way I was raised. All of these things come into play when I consider what has been placed in front of me. I will always have love. That will never leave who I am at my core. And I will always have love for you, Dol-Ora. But my journey right now, I feel it may call me elsewhere on a different path. She looks toward the side of the Fury. This is, again, not a decision that I make lightly. But I've seen what you have shown me. I've considered what I need to do. And I am choosing to take this path of fury. She walks toward Ashin.
She brings her hand upward. Your breath catches as she lifts her hand, not to you, but to the space beside you, as if shaping something unseen. Flames coil in her palm like a serpent waking from sleep. It dances up Sera's forearm. It wraps her shoulder and then offers to you, not a weapon, not a limb, something more intimate than either. A gift, if that word can carry the weight of it and what it truly is. See, Tracy, it takes the shape of an arm, but it is no flesh, no metal. This is a thing of feeling, of memory, of pain too long buried and love too long denied. Flickering veins of crimson blaze under translucent skin, pulsing in time with your heartbeat. It doesn't burn you. Not yet. Ashin speaks low, like a lover's dare, or a deathbed vow directly to you, Tracy. You can feel just beyond where her fingers trace your wrist. Take it and feel everything. Not duty, not restraint. Fury, longing, truth without apology. It is what you gave away to survive, and I only return it, changed. You sense it already. This does not feel like a blessing. A gift, sure, but gods rarely offer blessings. This is a curse that's kissed into the form of a gift, and it's yours. And as she layers it over the top of your arm, your left arm burns to ash away from your body. The metal slags and melts down to the floor beside you. And the pain inside of you swells, and when you cry out, it erupts into golden hues and reddish-orange flame, and it stirs with your emotions. And this is where we end tonight's session.
Oh my gosh. Wowza. Wow. I can't believe I made the decision. Oh man. Wow. That did not go the way I had expected. Truly. But we will see where this journey takes Sera. We will. I'm
happy.
curious.
I'm happy that you went that path. I definitely wrote another path just in case you were.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote, well, technically 2 more paths because of some decisions that you made. This was the first time for me trying to dive into this specifically. I'm certain you noticed that there were some fourth wall breaking moments.
Yes.
So I've made some cognitive decisions where you were split between 2 gods, that the gods are aware of something that's guiding Sera beyond their control, and it has made her aware of that presence.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Sera is aware that something moves her and makes decisions that align with her own values. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's interesting because I'm looking at this. Okay. I'm looking at a whole other perspective now. It's like, because I made this choice, what does that say about me? It's like, because it's beyond just the character now. This goes to like the player as a person. I'm looking at this very philosophically now. But I will say I made the choice because I think it is something. There's something Sera is making choices for her. That's me. And I think this path for Sera in some ways is the more interesting one, but I think it's just the choice for her right now. I think that's what it is.
I think so
But
too.
but like, yes, I did very much think at the beginning of the session I was not going to be swayed. Um, and I wanted to go on the path of Dolorah. Like I was ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
But your perspective on things, knowing that, I think the big thing was knowing like this is not like an evil god. Like I'm not like making a deal with like Asmodeus himself or something.
Yeah.
Like this is again like that moral that made me feel like, okay, you know what, like I can still make good choices. Like I don't have to just kill people. Like I know she's like, oh, kill people in fury, but it's like I can make the choice that I think is the right choice. So yeah, anyway, that's just my thoughts on things.
There wasn't a wrong choice there. I think both were just fine. And I think that you can still stick to your goals going in both paths.
Yes.
I don't think there's really going to be a problem with that. I think that you would find more issues going the path of Dolorah because your party is not afraid to make some less than savvy decisions.
That was the other thing. And not that I want like the party as a whole to make my business, but it does definitely affect that choice.
Sure.
Because it would be very difficult. And I wouldn't want to have it come to a point where Sera would have to like leave because she's like, I cannot be on my path with you people because like we're making too many bad choices here. So yeah. Anyway, that's
so, knowing what you know now and seeing that you're going down this path, I can shape a few things for you. Should we pass them off? I don't know if you want to pass them off here or if you want to talk sort of behind screen about the abilities of Sera's Arm of Fury.
Yeah, so is it like a flame arm? Is that like?
Yeah, it's essentially a living flame. That's
cool.
It's sort of like your arm is like forever kindling. And I've written some abilities for it. I have statted some things out to offer you some things, but you cannot wield a weapon with it. You cannot wield a shield with it either.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, one of these features here is called the Wound of Passion. This arm cannot wield weapons or shields, but it acts as a spellcasting focus, and it emits heat when Sera is emotionally provoked through love, rage, grief, or desire.
Cool.
Lover's Flame. When Sera takes damage, she can use reactions to wreathe her arm in flame, adding her charisma modifier to either the next spell or damaging ability that she rolls.
Cool.
And you have the ability to, it's essentially like it's Channel Fury. It uses Lay on Hands features. So as a bonus action, you can invoke emotions fully for a minute. And in this case, one time a day, right now. You have the ability to use Lay on Hands to heal max hit points. And you also transfer 1d4 of fire damage to the target's attacker, symbolizing emotional protection.
Wow. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And when you fail wisdom saves, so in this case, like memory tests, you may instead choose to succeed instead of failure at the cost of one hit die of direct pain that takes a full rest to heal.
Damn. So when I attack people, am I punching people? I don't have a blade.
Well, you still have your right hand, so you can still use a long sword if you desire.
Okay, so I'll kind of use like my hand will kind of ignite these things within a blade that I use, kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You can't use unless you get like monkey grip, right? You won't be able to use a great sword, not really efficiently, and you won't be able to use a shield. So it really prevents you from utilizing larger weapons and significantly defensive positioning. So better armor is probably going to be your best friend. Getting magical armor would be a massive bonus to you, for sure.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Wow, this is pretty cool. I dig it. Those are some cool abilities. So yeah, I'm into this for sure.
Good. I'm glad. Well, that's That's what I had planned. It turns out 15 pages go rather fast when it's just a one-on-one.
Yeah,
so,
right?
I hope chat loved it. Thank you guys for giving me this time. I would stick around and shoot the breeze more, but I'm happy with the way that this kind of ended. And I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see where this goes. The next 2 sessions will be without you, and then we'll get you again in June, right?
Correct. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm traveling the next couple of weeks, but I look forward to seeing everybody again in June 2nd. I'll be back.
Sick. Well, we'll have you back in June, and they'll have to figure out a way to operate without you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've heard that's not going the best. So, but I'll be a new woman when they see me again. So
yeah,
I'll be there to help.
You're gonna have some explaining to do for sure. They're gonna be like, "The hell is with that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.